you never know what could happen. There could be leaks. I remember the awful thing that happened to Jennifer Lawrence as well. That must be an horrific experience.
Reese Witherspoon just dropped the ultimate bombshell after Blake Lively allegedly tried to sabotage her career. And honestly, what else did Blake expect?
She's good at playing a villain. To an extent, she is.
From hijacking movie concepts to sidelining co-stars, Blake has a long history of stealing the spotlight. And this time, she set her sights on Reese. But Reese, ever the Hollywood mastermind in her iconic style, proved once again why she's the queen of the game. Main part Hollywood feuds are like reality TV. Cringy, dramatic, and impossible to ignore.
Reese Witherspoon was definitely having a dig at Blake Lively here, although Blake Lively's team says it's not true and it was never her in those photos, and they were all like they were fake photos.
But when the claws come out between two A-listers like Reese Witherspoon and Blake Lively, you don't just watch, you enjoy every bit of it. These two, once the epitome of charm and star power, are now tangled in a drama so juicy, even the tabloids are struggling to keep up. This isn't just your run-of-the-mill spat over seating arrangements at the Met Gala. It's a high-stakes showdown where ambition and authenticity are duking it out in the Hollywood Thunderdome. It all began with The Quiet Years, a project close to Reese Witherspoon's heart. Known for her knack for picking compelling, layered stories, Reese envisioned this film as a thought-provoking drama, one that would stand out in a sea of formulaic blockbusters. Her reputation as both a producer and actress promised something remarkable. But then, Blake Lively entered the picture. But Blake Lively, the golden girl of Hollywood with an eye for sophistication and a knack for turning heads, entered the scene. Blake seemed like the perfect partner for Reese Witherspoon on The Quiet Years. At least, that's what everyone thought before production turned into an uncredited sequel to Mean Girls. Blake, who probably walked into the room already planning her acceptance speech for Best Creative Genius Ever, reportedly couldn't stop herself from taking the wheel on the project. Because why stick to the role you're hired for when you can also dabble in everybody else's job? And let's be real, this isn't exactly uncharted territory for Blake. The woman has a habit of turning collaborations into solo missions. Her well-documented clashes with Justin Baldoni is a living proof of it. She somehow managed to make an entirely separate project about her creative vision. It's like she moonlights as a one-woman wrecking ball for promising partnerships. Blake doesn't just want to act, she wants to rewrite, direct, and probably design the costumes while she's at it. The irony? She'll still play the victim when things fall apart faster than a dollar store clutch. With The Quiet Years, the whispers of creative clashes were so loud they might as well have been broadcast over a megaphone. Blake allegedly inserted herself into the film's direction, taking control with all the subtlety of a bull in a china shop. Reese, ever the professional, tried to focus on her part, but Blake had other plans. If she wasn't making changes to the script, she was likely adjusting the lighting or picking out set decor. Because clearly nobody else in Hollywood has her unmatched expertise. Never mind that Reese has an Oscar and decades of experience producing hits. Blake was there to show everyone how it's really done. What started as a dream collaboration quickly turned into a Hollywood nightmare. Reese was reportedly left sidelined, watching her thoughtful drama morph into a vanity project. Tensions over leadership and creative vision brewed behind the scenes, and what was supposed to be an elegant showcase of their talents became an awkward power struggle. The cherry on top? Blake reportedly saw no problem with it. Confidence is one thing, but this was overconfidence on steroids. And let's not forget, this wasn't just about the creative direction. It was a full-blown takeover. Blake, it seems, has an uncanny ability to make any project feel like a one-woman show, whether it's hers or not. Collaboration was just a word she hears during press junkets. For Blake, teamwork means everyone get out of my way. So, what happens when you mix Blake's take-charge tendencies with Reese's reputation for excellence? A partnership that implodes faster. By the time the dust settled, Reese had quietly exited stage left, and Blake was left holding the reins of a project nobody wanted to ride anymore. It's a tale as old as time, or at least as old as Blake's apparent need to micromanage the universe. The fallout wasn't loud or public, at least not at first. Reese quietly stepped away from the project, sparking rumors about behind-the-scenes drama. Industry insiders speculated that her exit wasn't just professional but personal, as the relationship between the two actresses became increasingly strained. Meanwhile, Blake pushed forward with The Quiet Years, determined to make it a defining moment in her career. But when the film finally hit theaters, it didn't live up to the lofty expectations. Critics and audiences alike were left underwhelmed, pointing to a lack of depth in what was marketed as an emotional masterpiece. The backlash wasn't just directed at the film, it extended to Blake herself, with many questioning her creative decisions. The project that was supposed to cement her as a force in Hollywood instead raised doubts about her ability to deliver substance over style. As Blake grappled with the fallout, Reese was quietly making moves of her own. Her decision to develop Inheritance, a project that mirrored the themes of The Quiet Years, but executed them with far more finesse, felt like a masterstroke. Released in US theaters on January 24, 2025, Inheritance became a critical darling, earning Reese the attention Blake had hoped for. Critics praised its innovative production, shot entirely on an iPhone across global locations, and Phoebe Dynavor's standout performance. It was a subtle yet unmistakable statement. Reese wasn't just bouncing back, she was reclaiming the narrative. The contrast between their careers during this period couldn't have been starker. While Reese was celebrated for her authenticity and storytelling prowess, Blake's career seemed to stumble. Reports of strained professional relationships began to surface, with some insiders describing her as overly controlling and difficult to work with. Opportunities dwindled, endorsements slowed, and the star that once shone so brightly began to lose its luster. This chapter in their story might have remained a quiet Hollywood tale if not for a bombshell revelation from Reese. In a candid podcast interview, she recounted a moment that still haunted her, a speech gone wrong at an elegant British awards ceremony. The story, involving a misunderstood roast and an unnamed actress who no longer speaks to her, sent the internet into overdrive. Fans and sleuths quickly linked the incident to Kate Winslet, thanks to unearthed footage and matching timelines. While the podcast story didn't directly involve Blake, it offered insight into Reese's personality, her ability to acknowledge her missteps and move forward with grace. It's a quality that seems to contrast sharply with the perception of Blake's more headstrong approach to Hollywood's cutthroat dynamics. This isn't just a story of two actresses at odds. It's a deeper commentary on what it takes to survive in Hollywood. Loyalty, adaptability, and an understanding of the industry's unwritten rules often outweigh sheer ambition. Reese's steady rise, built on calculated decisions and authentic connections, stands as a testament to that. Meanwhile, Blake's struggles highlight the risks of chasing stardom without a solid foundation of goodwill and collaboration. The Quiet Years was Blake Lively's big, shiny attempt to prove she's more than just great hair and a killer Instagram game. The hype was insane. Glossy posters, dramatic trailers, and a marketing team working overtime to convince us this was going to be the film of the decade. But it wasn't. The critics came in swinging. Gorgeous visuals, but no soul. It was like wrapping a gift in designer paper and forgetting to put anything inside. Sure, it looked pretty, but who cares if the story didn't hold up? Turns out a film needs more than Instagram-worthy shots and overly intense dialogue to leave an impression. And the audience took brutal and razor-sharp knives to criticize the whole drama. People complained about everything. No depth, no emotion, no reason to care. Basically, it was as relatable as a designer handbag you can't afford. The film had all the ingredients of a heartfelt drama, but somewhere along the way, it lost the plot. Literally. Then came the whispers. Hollywood insiders couldn't help themselves. Did she really think this was a good idea? Does she even know what she's doing? The questions flew around faster than Netflix releases on a Friday night. Blake's creative credibility? Honey, it didn't just take a hit, it went straight to the cutting room floor. This wasn't just a flop, it was a moment. The kind of moment that makes Hollywood collectively roll its eyes, mutter a sarcastic bless her heart, and move on to something more interesting. Blake had waltzed into the big leagues thinking she was ready, and the big leagues responded politely but resoundingly. "Oh, that's cute. Maybe next time." And let's be honest, everyone's now wondering, does she even know how to act? While Blake was busy licking her wounds, Reese Witherspoon was quietly plotting her revenge. Enter inheritance. No drama, no flashy PR. Just Reese doing what Reese does best, dropping a bomb without even raising her voice. This wasn't just another project. This was a masterclass in how to fix everything. The quiet years got wrong. The themes were uncannily similar, but the execution was 1,000 times better. Reese didn't just tell a story, she nailed it. Every critic loved it. Audiences raved. It was like watching a pro show an amateur how it's done. And the timing? Let's talk about the timing in detail. Reese released Inheritance just as the world was officially done caring about Blake's flop. Coincidence? Please. Reese Witherspoon doesn't do coincidences. She dropped her masterpiece at the perfect moment, like a queen reclaiming her throne. The industry noticed. Of course, it did. While the quiet years sank quietly into obscurity, Inheritance soared like the sky was limit. It was like Reese sent Hollywood a little reminder. Hey, I'm still Reese Witherspoon. Don't forget it. And poor Blake? Well, she was probably sitting somewhere with a very expensive latte, wondering what went wrong. Let's hope she took notes because Reese just gave her the ultimate lesson in how to make a comeback without saying a word. And don't talk about Blake Lively, once the golden girl of red carpets and Pinterest boards, now the subject of more Hollywood gossip than actual casting calls. It turns out, ambition is great until it starts stepping on toes. And Blake? She wasn't just stepping, she was stomping in designer heels. Rumors swirled about her being, let's say, confident. Some would call it overconfidence. Others might use the word diva. Stories of strained professional relationships started popping up like bad reviews for a straight-to-streaming sequel. Directors whispered, co-stars avoided eye contact. Let's just say Blake wasn't exactly winning Miss Congeniality on set. And then, the roles? They started drying up. It wasn't an overnight thing, more like a slow fade. First, the leads disappeared, then the supporting roles. Soon enough, the phone stopped ringing altogether. Hollywood doesn't do second chances for those who trip over their own egos. Endorsements, public appearances, how the mighty fell. The magazine covers got fewer. The brand deals went to younger, shinier stars. Blake's once flawless image? Let's just say it got a little smudged. What was once a glamorous career began to resemble a house of cards. Pretty, but one wrong move, and boom. Meanwhile, Reese Witherspoon was over here thriving. Hit after hit, award after award, and a production company churning out successes like it's a Hollywood bakery. Reese didn't just survive the drama, she thrived in the spotlight Blake left behind. It was like Reese was the tortoise, steady and unbothered, while Blake, the hare, sprinted and face-planted. Now, just when you thought Reese was all class and zero drama, she goes and drops a podcast bombshell. In her trademark breezy style, Reese casually tells the story of a serious, proper actress who no longer speaks to her. Oh, the drama. Oh, the intrigue. During the 2011 MTV Movie Awards, a night of glitz, glamour, and Reese Witherspoon casually delivering what might as well have been a mic drop moment wrapped in pastel-colored shade. It was June 5th, 2011, at the iconic Gibson Amphitheater in Los Angeles. The atmosphere was buzzing, the crowd decked out in their trendiest, and Reese was about to accept the prestigious MTV Generation Award. But instead of just thanking her agent, her mom, and her golden retriever, Reese decided to treat the audience to a spicy little monologue. Here's where it gets juicy. Blake Lively and her then-boyfriend, Ryan Reynolds, all smiles and charm. But the smiles faded fast when Reese took the mic. Her speech included what many saw as a not-so-subtle jab, referencing a recent scandal involving alleged nude photos of Blake that had surfaced online. To be fair, Blake's reps had already denied the photos' authenticity and launched legal action to scrub them from the internet, but that didn't stop the whispers, or Reese's pointed remarks. Without naming names, Reese made a dig about how aspiring actresses could succeed in Hollywood without having to take naked pictures of yourself on your phone. The crowd? A mix of gasps, awkward laughs, and some serious side-eyeing. The implication was clear, and given Blake's very public ordeal, the timing was absolutely chef's kiss in the drama department. To add an extra dollop of intrigue, Reese didn't stop at one celebrity. Her comments were seen as a broader critique of Hollywood culture, with speculation swirling that the Kardashians might have caught some stray shade too. But let's be honest, given the timing, location, and a certain A-list couple sitting in the audience, it felt very personal. Naturally, this fueled endless gossip about an ongoing feud between Reese and Blake. A feud that, if Hollywood whispers are to be believed, still lingers to this day. And here's where things get juicy. Fans, internet detectives, and anyone with too much time on their hands started digging. The name that came up? Kate Winslet. Yes, Titanic Kate. Someone even unearthed footage from the BAFTA LA Britannia Awards in 2007, where Reese presented an award to Kate and, yep, made a laser hair removal joke. Awkward doesn't even begin to cover it. But here's the thing about Reese. She owns it. She didn't try to spin it or shift the blame. She straight up admitted she bombed and that it cost her a friendship. And honestly, that's why people love her. She's not perfect, but she's real. She stumbles, she laughs at herself, and then she moves on to win another award. The podcast revelation wasn't just juicy gossip. It was a reminder that even Hollywood royalty can mess up. But while some stars let these moments define them, cough Blake cough, Reese uses them as stepping stones. It's like she said, yeah, I roasted Kate Winslet, so what? Let's make another hit movie. Hollywood is the land of glitter, glamour, and enough unwritten rules to rival a secret society. And no one plays this game better than Reese Witherspoon. She's not loud, she's not flashy, but make no mistake, she's running the show. Reese's career strategy is a masterclass in quiet power. While others are busy chasing headlines, Reese is busy cultivating loyalty. She's the type who remembers your kid's birthday and sends you a thoughtful gift. It's not about networking, it's about building relationships. She doesn't just have colleagues, she has allies. Now, let's compare that to Blake Lively. Blake shot to fame like a firework, bright, loud, and over way too quickly. Her rapid rise was impressive, sure, but it lacked Reese's methodical touch. Reese's career? A slow burn, steady and intentional, like a perfectly roasted marshmallow. Blake's? More like someone trying to set the marshmallow on fire for TikTok clout. Reese gets it. Hollywood isn't just about talent, it's about dynamics. She knows when to speak up, when to stay quiet, and when to let her work do the talking. Blake, on the other hand, seemed to think Hollywood was a sprint, not a marathon. And while ambition is great, unchecked ambition, well, that's how you trip on your designer gown in front of the entire industry. The lesson here is simple. Authenticity and collaboration win the day. Hollywood isn't a solo act, it's a team sport. Reese has spent her career lifting others up, producing projects that spotlight new voices, and proving that nice girls don't finish last. They finish at the Oscars. Blake? Let's just say she's still figuring that part out. And now we arrive at the real question. When the dust settles, whose name will Hollywood remember? Spoiler alert, it's looking like Reese Witherspoon by a landslide. Reese isn't just an actress, she's a producer, a cultural icon, and, let's be honest, the queen of making book clubs cool again. Her impact isn't limited to one role or one genre. She's created an empire, and she's done it all with that signature Southern charm. Blake, meanwhile, is in rebuild mode. After a series of missteps and setbacks, she's working to find her footing. The talent is there, no doubt about it. But in Hollywood, talent alone isn't enough. It's about the long game, and Reese has been playing chess while Blake was still figuring out checkers. Their feud didn't just shake up their careers, it sent ripples through Hollywood's power dynamics. It was a reminder that in this town, survival isn't about being the loudest or the flashiest. It's about strategy, relationships, and knowing when to step back and let someone else shine. In the end, Reese's story is one of resilience and reinvention. Blake's? Well, it's still being written. But if this saga has taught us anything, it's that in Hollywood, only one thing is guaranteed. The long game always wins. Hit like and subscribe to the channel to know how long Blake will downgrade herself.